Yeah, again, and as I said last week, our season was going to be a journey, and obviously this week we're sitting here at 2-1 in our journey, and we're a little disappointed, which to me I think it's a good thing because our team and our players have expectations, and they expected to go into this game and they expected to win, and so I was glad to see that our players are disappointed. And as we said to our players on Saturday, no one expects setbacks, but everyone has them. And for us, it's going to be really important that we get to the crux of what created the setback for us. And that's a good thing that we have a bye week this week to kind of get the answers. I thought we played well in two parts of our team, defensively and special teams. And on offense, I thought we were off. I thought our timing was off. And so the bye couldn't have come at a better time for us to be able to delve into the why, and we'll use this week to figure that out as well as get back to some of the fundamental things that we need to move forward in our journey. Temple was a good team, and we said that last week, and we give them credit, all the credit for the win. But I also told our team, one win won't define us, and neither will one loss. And I think that's important that we understand that. Again, when you're on a journey, every step is important, but no one more than the other. So we'll continue to move forward with this and utilize this bye week to get us back on track. Before I open it up to questions, we got some exciting news here for us as a program that, we're going to bring Ralph Friedgen, a guy that has really had a huge impact on my career as a mentor and as a coach, back to College Park for the game Friday against Penn State next week. And I can't tell you the impact that Ralph has had on Maryland football, the community, as well as college football. He is a guy that I have the utmost respect for, that I've always looked up to as a guy that loves and has passion for this place like I do. And so to be able to bring him back and honor him in the right way, I know I'm excited as well as our team and our fans, and we're looking forward to having him back in College Park next week. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
How do you balance the time these 2 weeks? Is it all Penn State, or do you kind of look internally maybe the first week of this bye week?
No, you definitely, you want to do a little bit of both, but I think the big thing for us is we tend to go back and we do a huge self-scout to see who we were the first 3 weeks on video, offensively, defensively, and special teams. We spent a lot of time on the fundamental part of the game. I think when you look at the result on Saturday, especially on the offensive side of the ball, there were some fundamental things that we've got to get cleaned up. And so we'll put a big emphasis on the fundamentals. The next 3 days we'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the players will have off Friday, Saturday again. But we'll also get a jump start on Penn State where we'll get some of the base game plan done, in order where, we'll work a little bit on some base stuff today. We'll work on some third down and red zone on Wednesday, and Friday we'll mix in a little bit of both to give us a good jump start. With the game being on Friday, everything pushes up on our schedule a day. So Sunday, which is typically a day off for us, will become a Monday for us. And so we'll get a 3-day jump start on them, but we'll also put a big emphasis on fundamentals across the board, offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Specifically, Coach, about some of the breakdowns Saturday offensively, what were some of the trends that you really noticed, and how do you go about fixing those things moving forward?
Well, it starts, number one, with our pad level up front. We had 2 opportunities to punch the ball in from the 1-yard line, and as I said before, very disappointed that with the backs we have and what we are capable and have shown the ability to be up front, that we couldn't do it. And again, it's my job, to show our team how to win these close games, and that's on me. And I've got to, it's great to be disappointed, but these close games, to me, the desire to win them are there, but how to, that's on the head coach to show us how to win in these close situations. I know last year we had 4 games, I think, that we lost in the fourth quarter. And then, again, we had opportunities, 2 different times in the low red zone and the goal line to win the game. And so that's on me as the head ball coach to figure out how to show our guys how to make these plays when they're there to be made. But, fundamentally, playing high up front, I thought our pass sets weren't great. We got our quarterback with playing with the eye discipline that it takes to execute the offensive system across the board. Receivers and their depth of their routes. They were just, we can go across the board. And what we typically do this time of year is each coach goes through his position group to see the fundamental things that we need to improve on, and that's what we work on this week.
Do you have an update on Terrence Davis?
Yeah, Terrence has a MCL sprain. So, right now with where he is, it's probably a 4 to 6 week deal, depending on how quickly the thing calms down. So, we're expecting him to be at least 4 to 6 weeks with an MCL.
And just to kind of follow up on that, where do you see the offensive line depth now as opposed to during fall camp when there were some concerns?
I mean, we already were thin there, but, when you lose a player of Terrence's caliber, he's a 3-year starter for the most part and was playing at a high level for us. It's still the next man up mentality. It pushes Austin Fontaine up into the 2 deep. And then, because of Ellis McKinney's versatility, we'll be able to slide him over to the right guard position. And again, he's a guy that's played a lot of football. But now Austin Fontaine kind of moves himself into the rotation, which he played quite a bit in the second half of the Temple game. And, so the depth is not necessarily where we want it to be, but we still have enough able bodies. And now we just got to get these guys, again, playing fundamentally a little cleaner than what we played on Saturday.
Front row, Dave.
Coach, what's the update on Petrino's status after the
Yeah,
game?
he had a groin injury, and, as of right now, he won't kick the next couple of days here. We're trying to let it calm down. We won't know probably until we start preparation for Penn State on Sunday how he feels. He didn't tear it, so that's a good thing, but he has a significant pain down in that area, so we're trying to let that calm down. We won't kick him here the next couple of days to give him an opportunity to kind of heal up, and then we'll see where he is after we finish this 3-day schedule.
I mean, I know you addressed it a little bit before, but what do you want Josh to work on this week, and how is he sort of progressing?
Yeah, Josh didn't have a great game, but I think, again, across the board from us as coaches all the way down to the players on the offensive side of the ball, I wasn't happy with a lot of stuff. And so, it's easy to say because, as I told Josh, the quarterback gets the brunt of the accolades, but also he takes the brunt of the negative things when things don't go well on offense. And because we ask so much of our quarterback with the RPO system and decision making, I just thought Saturday we were a little off, and some of it is not just the quarterback. We had some guys coming free, some free hitters in his face when he was trying to make decisions and deliver the ball. So we've got to get that cleaned up. But again, he played well the first 2 games. He had a setback, and we all had a setback offensively this past game. But my expectation, because of his experience, that we'll bounce back. We'll get some things cleaned up this week, and he'll be ready to go come Penn State week.
Mike, when you do the self-scout and do look at the tape of the game, do you go back and say we should have run, maybe a bigger back when Anthony got stopped the second time?
Anthony is our best short yardage running back we have, and as I said Saturday, when it's 4th and 1, I'm gonna put the ball in my best player's hand, and Anthony McFarland. He's the same guy that on the first touchdown run that kind of broke 3 tackles and made some guys miss in a hole. So no, the self-scout for me is to see when plays don't work, is it schematic or is it fundamental? Schematic means they have more numbers than we have to block. They have better leverage. They have more people to that side, and then we need to go somewhere else with it. Or is it fundamental? The 2 short yardage plays, we had a run-through linebacker. He hit us 2 yards deep. That guy is accounted for in our blocking scheme, and we didn't execute the blocking scheme. So to me, that's a fundamental issue, and that's what we use this bye week to kind of get cleaned up. But I have no doubt in my mind that I'm going to get a ball to Anthony McFarland all day long in 1 yard, and if we execute up front the way we should, he'll figure out a way to get it in the end zone.
And just to follow up on Dave's question about Josh, when a guy is getting hit a lot, does that sort of make him approach it differently in terms of, because he seemed to be off right from the start of the game, and uncharacteristically, at least from what we've seen, throwing behind guys, throwing over their heads. I mean, it just looked like he was just completely out of sync most of the game.
There's no doubt. I mean, if you look at the first drive, I think he almost threw 2 picks, and to me, those were misreads when you go back and watch the film. And again, that's what the big question for us coming off the sideline for me is, hey, what are you looking at? Did you see your safeties and trying to refocus them back? And I mean, sometimes guys have bad games, and again, I thought he pulled himself out of it with the drive we had there in the beginning of the second half, and he made a big throw there to Tyler Mabry for the touchdown, and he made some big throws. But if you look at the way we tried to adjust things because of how he played early in the game, we tried to take the ball out of his hand, and we removed a lot of the RPOs in the second half, and we got the ball to our running backs, which we feel are the strength of our team. And we got into a little more 2-back stuff. We ran the ball. We gave the ball to Leak. We gave the ball to McFarland to give him an opportunity to settle down, and then we made some adjustments and play actions. He hit the big post to Brian Cobbs there off of some of the play action stuff to kind of eliminate the RPO stuff, which would take a little pressure off of him, and I thought he settled down a little bit when we did that. And again, this week we need to just kind of get back to some of the basics. I don't think that Temple did anything that he hadn't seen, but as you said, I just think he had one of those games where he kind of got off of his rhythm. And when a quarterback gets that way, you got to figure out how to get him back on track, and that's my job as the coach to figure out how to get him back on track.
Now that you've had some time to see the film and evaluate the game a bit more, how do you kind of evaluate the coaching staff's play calling, especially like in the fourth quarter and in those red zone chances?
I thought the play calling was fine. I mean, we had wide open guys with the game on the line. Chig came wide open on one. We missed that one, and we had some opportunities. So I thought the play calling was fine. I thought the execution of the play calling needs to be continue to be worked on for this week. Now, again, these are some of the same plays that we ran throughout the first 3 weeks of the season and all through training camp. And our job and my job is to figure out why the execution was off on the offensive side of the ball.
Now that you've watched the film, do you feel like the pressure Josh was under was primarily a result of being in the 3rd and long type situations, or is there some fundamental type O-line stuff?
That's a twofold question. One, there's this misconception that there's pressure. When you throw RPOs, you're going to have some free hitters, and that's where, again, up front, we need to stay in front of our guys, and I didn't think we did a great job of that. But also, if we make the right decisions with the ball and it comes out the way it typically should in the RPO game, you don't get hit. And I think we maybe held on to the ball because we made some misreads and it kind of put us behind. Now, when you have, I think we had 12 snaps of 3rd, 7+. And we had 21 first down opportunities and 21 third down opportunities, and I think 12 of them were 7 yards or greater. That means we didn't do a really good job on 1st and 2nd down, which to me, we're not going to be an offense built to execute at a high level on 3rd and 11, 3rd and 7+, and that's when your quarterback does put himself in harm's way because with the blitz packages and the different things people have the ability to do in those situations. We've been really good, which we were the first 2 games. We've been in 3rd and medium, 3rd and short a bunch because we've made great decisions on 1st and 2nd down.
You're right.
Coach, the bye week is largely out of your hands. What are some of the benefits to having that bye week this early in the season before conference play, and how have the teams that you've been around that have maximized this week off, what have they been able to do? What have you been able to accomplish?
Well, I think the big thing with bye weeks, and I think this one comes at a really opportune time for us because, if you add the fact that 4 weeks of training camp and then 3 weeks of a season, that's 7 straight weeks of us wall-to-wall football. And for us, with the pounding and all the contact and all the other things we do, usually every 3 to 4 weeks you'd like to give your players a day and a half off to be able to recover, to reset themselves. And so this couldn't have come at a better time from a contact standpoint and a refresh standpoint for us as a team. And again, what we utilize this opportunity for is to study who we've shown to be on tape, because when you self-scout, you give yourself an opportunity to see what other people see with you, and you want to find out who you see and what you are and be able to, one, refine those things, but also maybe adjust some things to where you present it a little differently so that you don't have a bunch of tendencies. And so to me, after 3 games, I think this is a great opportunity to look at where we are and who we are in all three phases. But I also think it gives us a chance to rest. You know, they had Sunday off, they had all of Monday off. We took our team picture yesterday, and then they'll get Friday, Saturday off. So these guys will have about 4 days of rest as we go into Penn State prep on Sunday. And what we want to get done the next 3 days for us is really important that we put a big emphasis on our fundamentals by position. You know, when you get better fundamentally, you get better as a team. And so we'll use these next 3 days to we'll increase how much individual time our players will have to do the fundamental drills that we don't get to do during the course of a season. And then Sunday we'll get really into a bunch of the scheme stuff. But we'll get a jump start on Penn State. We'll hit the fundamental things that we need to improve. We'll self-scout ourselves, and then we'll get a little rest at the end.
Time for 2 more. Don?
Mike, sometimes when a guy comes into a new situation and hasn't played a lot in his previous stop, it takes a while for him to get adjusted. Keandre seems to have stepped right in from day one. What is it about him? Does he play? I mean, does he sort of have a chip on his shoulder because of what happened at Ohio State, where he didn't get a lot of opportunity?
Yeah, I don't know if he has a chip on his shoulder. I mean, Keandre is a high effort, high motor guy that he understands how to prepare, and he came in with the habits and behaviors that I often talk about. I think we're playing him at the right position. You know, he played inside backer there. He's playing outside backer for us. We're probably utilizing the skill set that he has best and putting him in the best possible position to be successful. But the way he practices and the way he prepares is why he plays at the level he plays at. And I've been really, really pleased with not just how he plays, but I've said it many times here that his leadership has just been remarkable for our locker room.
Scott?
Mike, you talked about how the bye week helps physically, but when you look at it mentally, you talked all season about how adversity was going to happen. It was you faced it for the first time this past Saturday. But does having that adversity now going into the bye week maybe help these guys refocus mentally as well?
Well, it's my job to get us to focus, and again, I said the 1-2 was there, the desire to win was there, but how to win in close games, that's on the coach, that's on me. And I've got to show these guys that when we get into those situations, how we need to perform and the types of habits and behaviors we need to have. Again, I said this last week, that opportunity and adversity go hand in hand. You're guaranteed those two things in life, and sometimes you don't know which one is which. And we had some great opportunities in that game, and they turned into adversity. And so now what we've got to do is embrace the adversity part of it, go back and clean up why it came up, why it happened, and then move forward in our next step in our journey.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.